So before we get started on our last page, I want to show you the four-fold card that I made to keep this as a closure. Otherwise these flop open, so this fits in here. And you can put it in any way you want. I started with this because I really like the rose. So it folds, and this is the one we made the last lesson, and I have decorated it. It folds once, it folds twice, it folds 3 times, and you can look at the pictures on either side. And then we are back to our original rose. Anywhere you have places you can put pictures. I remember getting my picture taken with my little girl one time, and we got these little, they were about an inch. And so if you can find those, if you can get those taken and you get them ordered, you can put those in these little squares here, which this would be cute for a kindergarten through 12th grade album for one of your kids. Just something to think about. So then that fits down in here to keep this closed. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our last page, and then in our next lesson we will decorate. So today we're going to need one of our foundation pages that we made on our one of our first lessons, and I'm going to set that aside. And we need to cut 2 pieces at 7.5 by 8. So let's go ahead and do that. I will get my cut board. And I will do my long side down, my short side up first, and I will do 7.5 inches. And you all know why I do this. When I teach classes, I will have a big box full of these connectors. And so if I do these like this now, then I don't have to spend a whole evening or 2 evenings getting a class of these ready, as well as other things. So this is just kind of my way of saving a little bit of my time. Okay, so we have 2 of those. I'll put those aside. And I'm going to show you before I go on what I mean. I have my box right here. So this is the box, and I fill them up with those pieces, those small connector pieces. And it looks like I'll never use them, but this will barely be enough for a class at some point. Okay, just a little sidecar note there. Okay, so we've done 7.5, and we want to do 8 inches wide. So I'm going to put this at 8 inches. And I will save my scraps. They always come in handy. It's amazing. And then we are going to score. So I want to move that up so that I don't cut myself down here. Okay, so you can see I've underlined the 8 inch. Did I do 8.5 or 8? I did 8. Okay. So I've underscored the 8, which means on the 8 side will be up, and we will score one side at 1/2 inch. So I'll take one of these. I'll make sure that the 8 inch is at the top, and I will score 1/2 inch. I will do it on the next one. I'll put it in there. Okay, so if you get it like this and you says 7.5, you know, just go ahead and flip it. Flip it a 1/4 of a turn so that your 8 inch is up. Okay. This side is very easy. The next side is a little bit more complicated, and we will take our time. Most of these kind of things we've already gone over, but making the waterfall for the next page, it is a little bit harder, so I'm going to go a little bit slower with you so that we can do that. Okay, this is going to go ahead and get your foundation page and make sure that your open sides are to the right and left, and that your folded sides are at the top. So the first one we want to do is we want to go ahead and attach this to the right hand side of your foundation page. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on my little tab that I've just folded. And then I'm going to very carefully line this up, make sure it's lined up on all my edges. This is the tricky part. Okay, and then I'm going to push it down, burnish it down. So the other one is just going to go on the opposite side, but it's going to go on the page that we just glued down. So it's going to get glued to this side so that it pulls out into a long page. So I'm going to go ahead and put my glue on. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my best to get this as square as I can. Oh, that wasn't like me, it was perfect. So then I'm going to open it up and get rid of my glue. So you can see what we've done is we've just made a pullout. And that's pretty self-explanatory. So that's side one. Side two, we are going to do quite a lot of cutting, quite a lot of scoring. So let's go ahead and get our cut board, and we'll take it one piece at a time. So the first one that we want to cut is going to be a 6 by 8.5, and then our 8.5 is underscored, so we want to score 1/2 inch on each side. So let's go ahead and cut that. We want 6 by 8.5. So this is 8.5, we already know, so we will leave that as our 8.5, and we will go ahead and cut our 6 inch right here. Now I think these are going to come in handy, these scraps. Okay, so on our 8.5 inch side, again I said, we're going to go ahead and score 1/2 inch on each side. So we want to make sure that our 8.5 is up. And I'm going to score 1/2 inch on this side. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn it entirely around so my other 1/2 inch is at the 8 inch. And I'm going to score 1/2 inch on this side. So there we have this and this. And it looks like that. You have the folds on each side. So this actually turns out to be 7.5 inches wide, which will fit into our book. So let's go ahead and burnish that down. Now, if you need to, you can mark these with a pencil because you know that you're going to go ahead and put decorative paper on here so that you don't get confused. I'm going to make a big A. I don't know if you can see that in the, it's with pencil, so it doesn't show up real well, but I marked a big A, which tells me that's the A that we just cut and scored. Okay, I'm going to put that aside. The next one that we're going to do is the B, and it's a 5.5 by 11. So we already know that this side up is 11 inches, so we don't have to cut this one. We will turn it this way and cut 5.5 inches. That was 4.5, sorry. And I make sure that it's pretty even the whole way down. Okay, so that's 5.5. Now, what we're going to do with this one, since our 11 is underscored, we're going to cut at 1/2, 1, 1 1/2, and 2. So we want to make sure that our 11 is up. And we're going to cut at 1/2, 1, 1 1/2, and 2. So you have 4 score lines on this one. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and burnish all of those. So there we have that, and I'm going to put a B on this because we have already done our B. So let's put that aside, and now we need our C is going to be a 1 inch by 7 inches. Now I know that I have scraps that will take care of that, so I'm going to go ahead, and it's probably going to be this one. So this is, yep, this is 11 inches. I'm going to cut it down to 7 inches. And then I'm going to cut it 1 inch wide. Okay, so I want to score this one. And actually I want to score it at 1/2 inch on each side. So we're going to do, and we can turn this also. We're going to do 1/2 inch here, turn it the entire way around, so that your 1/2 inch score that you just did is on this side, and then we're going to do 1/2 inch here. This is going to be another belly band. Belly bands are so fun. There's so many things you can do with them, and this is going to be a different kind of belly band that we do. So I'm going to mark a C on this so that I can remember this is C. Okay, so the next one we want to cut, the last 4 that we want to cut are D's, and they are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to get all of my scraps and kind of straighten them up like this, and I'm going to pick out the big ones and see. Oh, that's 5. I could do a 4 1/2 out of this one. That's a 5 1/2. I can do that one, and I can do that one. Okay, so I think I have enough. So we want to go ahead and do 4 of them at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So let's go ahead and start that. So this page is 5 1/2, so I just need to turn it 1/4 and cut my 4 1/4 inch sizes. And if you use a whole new sheet of paper, that's up to you. I like using my scraps. So there's a 4 1/4. And there's a 4 1/4. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to lay those over here. So these are only 5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and cut them to 4 1/4. And then I will turn them 1/4 of a turn and cut them at 5 1/2 inches. I think it's way too low. Oh, so I have 3 of them. I think I cut these ones too short. I did, but that's okay. Okay, so this is 5 inches. I'm going to cut it at 4 1/4. And this is too small for a connector. And then I'm going to do 5 1/2. Okay, so I did a really bad thing. I cut these first 2 at 4 1/8. So I'm going to see if I have some more scraps. Yep, I do. I have one more piece of scrap. Let's see, what is that? Okay, so I'm going to cut this at 4 1/4. And I want to make sure I get the 4 1/4. And then 5 1/2. And let's see if I have one more. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to do this one at, oh, it's already at 5 1/2, so I just have to do 4 1/4. Okay, so, oh yeah, Okay, so we have to score them now. And as you look at this, we are going to score, oh, actually, I'm sorry, we don't score this one. This one does not get scored. Okay, we're kind of done with that for now. Let's put that away. So what we are going to do is we are going to start this. And we are going to glue, each of these 1/2 inch score marks are going to get glued to one of these pieces of paper. Okay, so I'm going to start at the top actually, and you want to make sure that your small paper fits across. You don't want it the 4 1/4 size because you'll have too much over here. You want the 5 1/2 up. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue, and I forgot to put my pin in, so it's getting a little dry. Let me go ahead and open that up. Okay, so I'm just going to do one of these 1/2 inch, and I'm going to keep it away from the fold line because I don't want it going over. So the other thing you can do is you can actually fold those other 3 back. Put this on here and then burnish it down. And I will make sure that it's kind of in line here. Okay, that looks good. Where's my, I don't know, so I use this. Okay, that's one. So I'm going to flip that up, take all of my excess glue, and then very carefully, I'm going to put a bead of glue right under the fold mark and right on top of the bottom fold mark, and then fill in just a little bit. We don't want too much glue on this because it will flow over. And so then I'm going to put this as close to the top fold as I can, and you can use these sides to make sure that it's even. And then I'm going to go ahead and burnish. I would like to know what I did. You girls watched me. I did not lose my burnishing tool. I have no idea where it went though. Oh well. I have another one somewhere. Okay, so then I'm going to push that up and fold this back again. So now I just have 2 1/2 inches. And I'm going to again put just a very small bit of glue at the top of that fold and at the top of this fold. I will take another piece of paper and we want to line it up. And then I'm going to fold that last one down, and again, small line of glue across the top and bottom of that area, and just a very light smattering of glue, and then we will put this one on. There we go. Okay, so you have 4 pages just like this. So we're going to go ahead and we will, I have to think, sorry. Okay, so this is, I'm not sure where A goes. Okay, I think I want to do it this way and then put this across here. Yes. Okay, so we're going to glue one of these edges of our pay page and I'm going to try and eyeball it so that it is in the middle. You're going to have a strip going down each side. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue this. Have you girls seen the Twilight Zone where the little girl gets stuck in the wall in another dimension? That's what I'm thinking about while I'm doing this, because I just lost my big burnisher. Oh, there it is. See, it came back. Okay, we're good. All right, so then the other thing that we want to do is about 1.5 inches from the bottom, and you can mark this if you want to. Put a few little tick marks with your pencil. Excuse me. Oh, and we got rid of our bugs, those little black bugs. My husband worked like a trooper to get rid of those things. That was so wonderful. He is such a good guy. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put our belly band on top of page A. And I'm going to go ahead and glue. I'm going to put some glue on one side, and I'm going to line it up and line it up with that tick mark I made, because you know that's going to get paper on it. Ooh, that moved. That was not cool. Hold it down. And then I'll go ahead and put glue on the other side. And I'll take it across and I will line it up. There we go. And I want to make sure that I didn't get it stuck to the paper. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is this long tail from our waterfall. We want to slip under that belly band, just about like that. And you'll want to go ahead and line up this the last picture frame, the last waterfall. You want to line that up just a little bit below. Okay. And I'm going to put a mark there because that's where I want it to end. And then I'm going to cut that off. Take that out, line it up. Cut it off. Okay, so I'm going to keep that. So then we want to go ahead and put this back in there, just that last piece. Slide it down there. Okay, once you've gotten it where you want it to be, hold this part down, the last thing that you put under, and then lift these up and put glue right here on the top of your C belly band, in line kind of in line with what you have here. Okay, and then we're going to fold this down trying to make sure everything's pretty even, and glue it. So then what you have is you can pull this last one and you will have a waterfall that actually moves. Okay, that's it. That was a little bit of work, but I'm sure you did okay. And we are going to go ahead and decorate these in our next class. But I want to thank you for coming and joining me, and be ready to decorate next time. Okay, talk to you again. Bye-bye.